Well, a better you, what does that actually mean? It's really simple. How do we keep you in the tip-top condition so you can do your job? It includes sleeping, it includes eating, and eating well. I don't want you to eat like a rabbit, but I want you to eat so you can indulge yourself, but also take care of your body itself. So it's eating, sleeping, and number 3 is exercise. If we don't put all 3 together, a better you doesn't work. Because if we eat, we just gain fat. So therefore, we're not going to be very good at our job. I want you to go out, enjoy food, enjoy exercise, and sleep a minimum of 8 hours. And people say, oh, we can't sleep 8 hours. The more you sleep, the better, and it's proven that you make decisions better when you sleep. A better for you includes all 3. It's almost like a performance triad. If you eat well, you sleep well, and you exercise, you should be in tip-top shape. My job as a culinarian is to make sure we give you choices. And especially in our military, we're talking about athletes. Think about an athlete that runs or throws a javelin or a shot put. They eat certain foods to give strength, to give agility. We want our military folks to eat well so they can do their jobs and make great decisions in a timely fashion. And you can only do that if you have that performance triad. Well, first of all, before you work out, you shouldn't, and I repeat, you shouldn't be taking energy drinks or any pills or potions to make you go faster. It doesn't work. All it does gives you a high and then drops you. If you look at everything that's on the back of these drinks, it tells you, help. It says, don't drink, because it's going to give you that lift of sugar and then it's going to drop you. It gives you nausea most of the time. And it's interesting because no matter what you take, whether it's medication, with these drinks, it affects your health in some way, shape or form. I suggest you get rid of all that, and I can tell you a personal story. When I was trained to do an Ironman competition, I was early in the morning, 3 o'clock, and I took a 5-hour energy drink thinking it was going to help me. I got into a pool, and the instructor said to me, just swim, warm up. So I went hell for leather for 2 lengths, and I couldn't swim anymore. It literally depleted me of every energy source I had. So I've been there, I've done it, it doesn't work. The best way to get ready to work out in the morning is to eat something when you first wake up, preferably oatmeal with dried fruit. It actually burns slow, it's a slow burning carbohydrate, gives you energy over a sustained period of time. Then you do your workout, then you eat something right after that workout, egg whites, even eggs in general, scrambled eggs, something that can put back that energy that you just expended. Because if you don't eat, what happens is your body goes into a catabolic state, which means all that fat that you've put into your body, it won't use it, it will stay there. It will turn to fat. You need something to burn. And that is only, it's like, think about this, when we put fuel into a car, it can go 600 miles or whatever with the fuel. If you don't put fuel in the car, it's not going to get very far. And that car is your body, and the fuel is the food that you put into it. So you got to be very smart. Instead of making those silly choices and think they're going to be quick fixes, do the right thing. Eat every 2.5 hours, small meals, nutritious meals that are going to give you that constant burn of energy. I think those 3 pillars that I mentioned, eating, sleeping, and fitness, are part of resiliency. Our 21st, 22nd century sailor, airmen, marine, coast guardsmen, or airmen need that. We've got technology that's catching us fast with all these new planes and trains and ships coming out, right? And guns. But if we don't have the person, i.e. the computer, to be able to use those, what good is technology? Food plays an important role, and more so in the 21st, 22nd century. We need to make sure that we put food in that's going to give us energy, that's going to make us think correctly. At the end of the day, we can spend $13 billion on a new aircraft carrier, but if we can't have somebody that can sail it, somebody can run it, we spent $13 billion for nothing. The human component, the computer, the person, we have to take care of. And in the 22nd century, which is what we're going to now, 21st, 22nd century, this guy and this girl and that person doing that job is more important than the piece of equipment they have. Because if we can't keep this one fit, it's not going to work. Imagine $1.7 billion worth of obesity-driven disease in our military. Think about that. If we can change that statistic to make sure that we have better food, more educated people, and fit people, we have a great military. And fitness is an amazing thing, because I can go to a gym and work out. Right? I go to my job not eating. I'm going to be tired, lethargic. I don't do my job. I miss something. Something goes wrong. Same as if I don't sleep. I'm tired. Something happens. I miss it. It's a knock-on effect for somebody else. When you go home, think about your family. You're tired. You don't have time to spend time with your kids or your wife. And it's not only feeding inside the military, it's feeding outside the military when you go home. It doesn't matter what I put into a dining facility or into a restaurant. If you eat well at work, which is great, then you go home and you stuff your face with burgers and pasta and cheesecake, then you've defeated the object. So it's also an education process of the families as much as it is the servicemen and women. You know, what to go and buy at Navy Exchange or Commissary. How do we teach that? It's really important that we educate the families as well as the servicemen and women, because otherwise we're shooting ourselves in the foot. It's interesting because we have all these programs within the military that are great. You know, Thor 3, go for green. But what happens is they may eat well at work, when they go home, it's all out the window. And we talk about resiliency and readiness. Right? And one thing that we're missing here is quality of life. Let's think about the sailor, soldier, airman, marine, and Coast Guardman. If they don't have a good quality of life, they get fed up, they want to leave. So it's kind of a retention, resiliency, everything goes, overlaps into one another. Okay, so if you want to balance your life, your military life and your personal life, I don't think there's such a thing as balance. And let me tell you why. We spend most of our time at work. We come home tired. We don't have enough time with our wife or kids or husband and kids because we can't shut ourselves off. What I would suggest you do is on a Sunday, plan out your week. We normally know what's going to happen. We can purchase the food on that Sunday. We can prep the food based on a menu that you pretty much agree on that Sunday. Place it in refrigeration, in cartons or in bags. Have a meal plan ready. So when you come home, you can literally put a meal on the table for 4 or 6 people within 10 minutes. If you have a plan, you can work to the plan. The worst thing is when you come home and you try to figure out what you're going to eat and what you don't have in the pantry. Then you have to figure out, I don't have this, I got to go shopping, I don't have, and your hurried life continues. If you make a plan on a Sunday, work the plan till Saturday, do another plan the next Sunday, and so on and so on. You have to be able to plan your life for the ups and downs. What happens if Johnny has to go for swim practice, Melissa has to go to soccer practice, and you get home 5 minutes before? You finish the practice, you're busy, and what we tend to do is make a simple choice. Let's go through a drive-through and get something quick. Well, Big Macs, chicken fingers, and so on and so on. We are then telling our kids it's okay to eat junk food all the time, or most of the time. And it's funny, if we look at kids as they grow up, they take their parents' traits on. Do they shout? Are they fit? Do they clean their rooms? It's interesting. If you clean your room every day and you make sure your living quarters as kids are kept clean, you'll become a great leader in the future. And that's a proven thing. It's not because Robert Irvine is saying it. The more you get a plan and work the plan, the better that balance you'll have. If you don't have the balance, 9 out of 10 times you'll be upset and you'll go to bed upset, you'll be stressed, you won't sleep, then you'll be tired the next morning, and the cycle continues. You have to plan your meals, plan your life as you want to live it. Of course, there's always going to be things thrown in a spanner in the works or a wrench in the works. It's just the way it is. But at least if you have that plan, you can adapt quickly. That's what gives you balance. Otherwise, you will never have balance.
Sounds like there's a common thread of planning and discipline involved.
The military is such a great thing. When I came out of the Navy, It gave me the tools I needed to be able to run business, to be able to run my life. And I travel 345 days a year. I eat well, I work out every day. And by the way, I do clean my room and my bed every day. And it's interesting because you fall into a pattern of choices. Let's face it, health and fitness is a choice. We could either sit on a couch all day watching TV, or we can get up, we can eat well, we can go to a gym or go for a run, or walk the dog, play in the garden with the kids. I'm not saying that you have to go to a gym and lift heavy weights every day, because that's not real. But spending 20 minutes playing basketball or baseball with your kids, running around instead of sitting on the couch, or letting your kids do this with Game Boys and all this, instead of getting them out in the air. I don't understand that families that don't involve their kids in cooking. It's fun, it's educational. My two girls, Annalise and Talia, I have a 19 and 16-year-old, but when they were kids, I would take them to the supermarket, let them pick out 5 vegetables, take them home, I would blindfold them, cut a piece of the vegetable up, let them try it, and they would always 9 or 10 times, ooh, we don't like that. If they got it right, it was 25 cents, right? Now it's $1, I think, but it was a game. And then I would cook them and let them feel the difference or taste the difference in those vegetables. Now my kids, they eat chicken fingers some of the time, but now they're educating the food. They don't eat junk food. One's at college, about to graduate, and the other one's just going in. And yet they understand what food does to them and how it works. And I think the education of kids and families and our servicemen and women is what it's about. There's no such thing as age. You can learn at any time. It's never too late to learn. At the end of the day, we've got a choice, and I keep saying choice because it is a choice. We either want to be healthy, we want to change our lifestyle, or we don't. If you go into somebody's pantry and you see cookies and soda, sugary drinks and all that, you know what? Guess what? They're never going to change. It's going to be drinking and eating, and eventually their kids are going to be obese, they're going to be obese, unless you throw all that out and have them as treats occasionally and restock your refrigerator or freezer. How many people cook with fresh herbs and vinegars? You don't need salt and sugar. Fresh herbs, vinegars, orange juices, lemon juice, grapefruit juice, all these things that have flavor but don't add sodium and sugar. But again, that's an education piece. If we don't educate the folks, how do you expect them to know? Because they didn't learn it from the parents. Instead of using salt, and I listen, I'm not a lover of not using salt. What I say is we want to use sea salt. It's bigger, it's more powerful, it has a lot more flavor because it's condensed, unlike iodized salt or kosher salt. Right? Iodized salt has iodine in it. It's not very good. It's got silicon in it. We want to make sure that the salt brings out the flavor. If you don't want to use salt, we can use light soy sauce, low sodium soy sauce. We can use honeys, mustards, the juices, all add flavor and reduce their natural sugars. Honey is an unpurified, unadulterated sweetener, right? Why don't we use it? Well, because people don't think of that. I know people that take a spoonful of sugar and a spoonful of vinegar. Vinegar is a great acidic piece, just like a lemon or a lime. When we cook, I always use lemon, lime juice, orange juice, or vinegars, rice wine vinegars, white vinegar, sherry wine vinegar, simply because when you eat it and you cook with it, it starts the digestion process immediately. It doesn't sit in your body. It starts to metabolize. Therefore, we don't sit there and go, oh, I can't eat anymore. Use it. Get smart. Well, I was in the Majesty's Royal Navy, and that experience for me over a 10, 12-year period was, I was a cook. I understand the motivation and the adulation of a cook, because when you deployed way back when, there was two things that were important: food, and it used to be trifold mail. Now it's internet. But the two things are still the driving force when we deploy. We want to see our family. Now it's FaceTime or Skype, and the food. The only other thing is workout. So if you're deployed in Afghanistan, Iraq, or a warship, what do? You eat, you sleep, you work out, and you take care of family, or you try to take care of family. So for me, my inspiration is my service, and I know the hardships, especially nowadays, with our service being deployed all over the world, Iraq, Afghanistan, Korea, warships, you name it, deployments are longer, we're away from our families more, so therefore, I want to make sure that the food that we give, working along with all these great people within the military, to give the food that is A, flavorful, B, as fresh as possible, and C, that it looks appetizing just as much as it tastes. So if they eat well, they work out, when they come home, they're a better person for being deployed than they were when they started. That's it. So for me, before I work out, simple, effective way, and I said it, and I'll say it till I'm blue in the face, oatmeal with fruit, do your workout, do your run, do your working. I believe that cardio should play a great part. First 20 minutes of cardio, it warms your body up, it relaxes the body before you lift, so it gets rid of strains when you do lift. I believe that when you finish, the post-meal workout is egg whites, some type of turkey sausage or pork sausage, it doesn't matter. Then from that point, I believe every 2.5 hours, it's a baked potato with cottage cheese, it's a half a tuna salad sandwich, it's a chicken sandwich, it's whole wheat bread, it's whole wheat pizza. You can have pizza, but make sure the cheese is low fat, the pepperoni is low fat, and they're out there. It's not like we can say, we can't find it. I travel, as I said, 345 days a year. I mean, military bases, on warships, on planes, and I manage to eat well. So there's no excuse. Again, it's that lifestyle choice. You have to eat before you work out. You don't work out on an empty stomach, because otherwise you're wasting your time. Pizza's good. I mean, it's bread and sauce and cheese. But the difference is, if you're going to eat whole 12-inch pizza, that's a couple of thousand calories. That's what you want to do, but it's dead calories. It doesn't give you energy, it just gives you sleep. It gives you that tryptophan moment where you're like, oh, I feel tired now, instead of feeling vibrant and energetic. And proteins are good, carbohydrates are good. But remember this, the more carbohydrates you eat after noon, and you don't work out, the more fat content comes to you. And it's normally women, it's on the back side, men on the front side, just like alcohol. I'm not saying don't drink alcohol, don't eat pizza. What I'm saying is be very smart how you eat it, be very smart how you work out, and make sure that you have somebody that's holding you accountable. So have a workout partner that's going to say, hey, come on, when you don't feel like it, we all need it. Get off your butt, let's go and work out. That's the important part. When you go home, don't be going home and expecting your dinner cooked by your husband or wife or your kids. Go home and say, hey, let's make dinner together. The more you include the family, the better off you're going to be. And that is for sure. You set good habits for yourself and for your kids. So what I would suggest is you get your family involved. Don't expect when you finish work, you go home and your husband or your wife or your kids have made dinner. Go home, make dinner with them, get them part of what you do, set good habits for your kids and your family, and you'll be amazed what happens. Get rid of all the junk out the pantry, set it up. I don't mind you have a couple of treats, but make sure that you buy good food, fresh food that's healthy for you, and I've got to tell you, you will change for good. All you men and women out there that wear the cloth of our nation, thank you for your service, thank you for your sacrifice, but you owe it to yourself and to your buddies to stay fit and healthy. And that means making sure that you follow a better you. Go out and do it. Not because I say so, because it's the right thing to do. God bless you all. See you soon.